Yo, what's up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So in this one I wanted to discuss sound whoring in this game because I think in this game it's because of the whole time to kill as well as the healing factor that's been put into this game. I feel that sound whoring it's a little bit more quote unquote different but yet the same compared to previous Call of Duties as well, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But the first gameplay you're going to see here is a core free-for-all with me not using the acoustic sensor, and the second game is another core free-for-all with me using the acoustic sensor. So you guys get to see a little bit of both on that, and at the same time I get to give you my thoughts about it and what I think about it. Is it overpowered? Is it not overpowered? I'm going to be doing some comparisons in my personal experience, in my personal opinion as well, with previous Call of Duties. So yeah, it really is a topic of discussion, which is why this video here is going to be just a little bit longer than my average video. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Now, is the acoustic sensor overpowered in this game? And I will say, in pair with dead silence, I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, in a sense, because there's also the Sixth Sense perk from previous from Black Ops 3 that's built into this thing as well. I personally think that it shouldn't be, because simply put, it's overkill, because there's so many other ways, because whether it's the fog of war, whether it's the recon specialist, whatever it is, there are so many different ways that you could tell visually in terms of the minimap of where an enemy could be. So there's that, and then there's also the fact that, well, there are good players as well that run this setup of dead silence and acoustic sensor, and the only way you could truly counter them is to run a setup just like that on your own, because dead silence by itself does not counter the acoustic sensor, and as a matter of fact, dead silence itself doesn't even completely counter just your footsteps, period. So the thing is, when you find other people that are using that kind of setup, you got to counter them. And the thing is, in terms of my overall opinion on sound whoring, it really varies from Call of Duty to Call of Duty a little bit. There are similarities and yet differences. The differences, again, being the whole time to kill and healing factor in this game. So if you are rushing, and if you're running around, if you're using this setup, I can't really say that I frown upon that, simply because of the fact that you're moving around and you're running and you're trying to get as many kills as possible, and you're actually also countering other people that may be using that same setup, which there are people that do, that's for sure, and especially in TDM or free-for-all game modes. And you're also basically countering some of the BS in this game. In other words, the spawns, for instance. You'll see in the second game that people keep on spawning around me. Like I get one or two kills in one certain area, and then I get, like, people will keep on spawning around my area like non-stop, like really sticky, when they're not really supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit more spread out. And I've been playing free-for-all, and I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time, and it's not, they're not supposed to be like that. At least not all the time. Or at least not as often as it is in this game. So if you have a setup like that, it's like you're basically countering some BS deaths, basically. And at least we have a way to counter it in a sense. So yeah, there's that as well. And it also can teach you a little bit more about the spawns as well. It's like, okay, I just killed this guy. Oh my gosh, he spawned there. I thought he was going to spawn over there. Holy crap, the spawns are off in this game, and all that kind of stuff. So my overall opinion is, if you're sitting in a corner and you're not moving and you're using a dead silence and acoustic sensor, or even a dead silence awareness perk from previous Call of Duties or whatnot, yeah, I could say I frown upon that. But if you're moving around, then okay. So, and the thing is also with this game, there's no advanced movement. So when it comes to the subject at hand, a person that would rush doesn't really have the advanced movement to bail them out from a sticky situation, for instance. Like back in Black Ops 3, when I got my over 70 kill TDM, I wasn't using dead silence awareness. Although when I was initially trying to get it, I was, but at first, but then later on, I was just using dead silence and blast suppressor, because even if somebody did have dead silence and awareness, my blast suppressor, when I was using the advanced movement, would shield me completely. Granted, if I was just running around with dead silence, it wouldn't shield me completely. So I would either use Dead Silence Blast Suppressor, or I would use Dead Silence Awareness to be on an even playing field. So there was a very similar approach, but yet at the same time, because of the advanced movement, because there was also Blast Suppressor, there was a slight difference, but the mentality was pretty much the same. And even in Modern Warfare 3, let's go back to Modern Warfare 3. If you weren't using, SitRep Pro, you were at a disadvantage, a severe disadvantage. And back in Modern Warfare 3, when I first played it, I had absolutely no idea just how powerful sound whoring was. As a matter of fact, I didn't even think I knew sound whoring. As a matter of fact, I used to think that Dead Silence was like, I'm like, why in the hell would somebody use this perk when you can just run around and use all the speed perks? And I was a marathon, quick draw, and lightweight guy, always, in every single Call of Duty. But yet, once it came to my attention, Call of Duty Ghosts, just how powerful sound whoring was, I'm like, okay, let me go back and play Modern Warfare 3, but I'm going to unlock SitRep Pro and see exactly what the fuss is about. And when I did, I was like, holy shit, this answers every single question I've ever had during my time with Modern Warfare 3. Granted, I was still a noob. At the same time, I was constantly asking myself the question, like, how does this person know that I'm there? Like, how are they so ready? It's like, I've got all these speed perks on. I've got really good reflexes. I know that. But it's like, how in the hell? It's like, how am I able to get away with killing people like this using this setup in Black Ops 1, but yet in Modern Warfare 3 in this game I can't? What's going on here? And my answer became very, very, very clear after I learned about sound whoring. And the thing is, when you're playing in the middle of the day, for instance, you're not going to run into quite as many of those tryhards. So, but if you're playing late at night, or even in the morning, like when I played this, like I literally, like before recording this, it's past 6:30 in the morning, and I played for a couple hours from like 4 to 6 after I downloaded the update. And these are the first gameplay that you saw was the first game during the session, and this gameplay here is literally the last. So, when you play later at night, you're going to run into, your chance of running into other people that are good at the game are much higher. And you can tell too, not just because they have dark matter, but because of the way they play and sometimes even the setup that they have. And for me, all it takes to switch from stim shot over to the acoustic sensor is seeing another player in the lobby use it. And it doesn't matter if they're good or not, because if somebody is an average Call of Duty player and they can hear you coming, all it takes for them is to aim down their sights and just wait for you to come around that corner or whatever the deal may be, and they're already ready. And one of the things that separates winning a gunfight from losing a gunfight is the readiness that a person has, and sound whoring definitely helps with that. So if somebody or a group of people are using a setup like this, especially when it comes to a TDM or a free-for-all, you simply need to change your class and use the same exact setup. And if somebody ever bitches at you for using that setup, it's very simple. You respond to them by saying, hey, you can use the same setup. Use the same setup. Let's get on an even playing field. Quit bitching. And let's see who can get to 30 kills first. Or let's see how you do then against me after that. That's one of the ways to respond like that. Or you can just change your class and try to beat them that way too. But again, it also depends on the Call of Duty, like I mentioned previously. So with me, what I used to do is whenever somebody would send me hate mail for using Dead Silence Awareness in Black Ops 3, I'd switch Awareness for Blast Suppressor, and lo and behold, there you go. So, and if I ever saw them using Dead Silence Awareness because they were being hypocrites, it's like I would use the same class setup just to shut them up. It's like, hey, you're using it too, so what the hell are you bitching about? You're being a hypocrite. So, and this is another reason why I like Black Ops 2 so much, is because, I mean, it was perfect. The spawns were fine. The map sizes were good, so there was plenty of action. And it really was about game knowledge and gun skill and proper positioning. And if you were rushing around in that game, you were doing really well. And it's like, there you go. So, and I did very well in Black Ops 2 after I learned how to play the game. So it's simple as that, really. So sometimes, because of the way a Call of Duty is built in terms of the way the perks work and the sound whoring and all that kind of stuff, sometimes you just have to change your class setup in order to make your play style work, specifically if you're a rusher. because if people can hear you coming a mile away or through a building or through walls or even through mountains in some cases or whatnot, I kid you not, you're at a severe disadvantage regardless of how good you may be. You have to counter by using the class as well. This is why we have different class setups, and this is why we always have to have a counter class for everything that happens. So there you go. So that's my overall opinion on sound whoring and where I stand on it in terms of this game here in Black Ops 4. So and that's basically how I'm handling it. So it just depends. It just depends on every lobby, how many people are using it and all that kind of stuff. And as of right now, in terms of dead silence or versus stim shot, I love stim shot. I wish I could prefer it all the time. I prefer it was stim shot all the time, but the thing is, because of the way this game is built and how dead silence doesn't completely counter the acoustic sensor, and if a good player is using it, or even a group of non-good players using it, you're left at a disadvantage. So if you're a rusher, because they can hear you coming a mile away. So there are other really good players out there that are so versatile in their gameplay that they can slow down to a point to where they counter it completely. But for me personally, and for my play style and my personal experience, I'm at a disadvantage for the way I play, and I just refuse to slow the hell down too much. That's my strength and my weakness. My strength is my rushing, and at the same time my weakness is my rushing. So it is what it is. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know where you stand on this subject. What is your opinion? What is your experience with Black Ops 3? What is your experience with previous Call of Duties? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let it all be known down in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay and the commentary, and if you did, let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.